going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Couch. Technically, it's a little pink today because we're with Tiffany J at Tip's Lab. And what's going on, Tip?
Not much. Thank you for stopping through. So I'm excited about this conversation.
Oh, it's going to be good. All right. So if you're new to this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like this video, share this video. And today we're talking about Tiffany J's journey in entrepreneurship. Tiffany J.
What's up? What's up?
I'm glad you agreed to do the show.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, because I've seen you around a long time, even when you were just in the music. And then I found out you had the graphic design business and stuff that you was going on. And then, like, as you evolve, things happen. So let's talk about all of these ventures and things that you have going on.
Okay, I'm not really sure where to start,
Go with it.
I guess I'll start with my graphic design business. That's my oldest business, baby, if we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Right.
So I will be celebrating 10 years in February with that business. So it's been a long time.
Wow.
It's been a long time. So I started graphics when I was in college. I went to school for computer science.
Oh, okay.
And somehow I was just a little bit eerie of the fact of coding to make things look visually appealing. So there's this thing called cascading style sheets, CSS or whatever. And I just didn't want to do all of that just to make stuff look decent. So I kind of Googled graphic design and self-taught myself. So I started my graphic design business my senior year in college. At the same time, I began my my corporate career at Scanner.
Okay.
So I worked at Scanner. I interned there and began full time there immediately after graduating college. And I was an application developer. Absolutely hated my job. Absolutely hated it. I was like literally sick of going to work.
Really?
I would be sick in the mornings from just the thought of having to go. So
Terrible experience.
Yeah, terrible. So
how long did you stay there?
I stayed there 3 years.
Okay.
In June of 2011, I was ill. I'm a diabetic, and I went on short-term disability. And in that sitting down moment, the funny thing is I opened my first TJ's Elements office 2 months prior to that in April, with no plans to leave the job. The job was kind of going to sustain the business. I was, working full time and then trying to increase the hustle. But that sit down period, I felt God was telling me there's no purpose for you to stay in something that you don't enjoy doing. So I decided that I would leave. I wouldn't return to work from short-term disability. I actually had to go to work for a day to kind of just come off of short-term and officially resign.
I got you.
But July 1st of 2011 began my full-time entrepreneurship journey.
Wow. So that's how your transition went.
That's how my transition went.
Wow.
It isn't anything I recommend to people. I always, when people come to me, it's like, how did you start, working for yourself full time? Have at least a 1 year plan. You hear me? Have at least a 1 year plan.
1 year plan.
Like if you can help it, plan a whole year so you can save that whole year. You work on saving and put enough money that you have to kind of be frugal that year to make sure you have a stash just in case the business doesn't do well. And you have things
my first year was horrible.
and everybody's we suffer a lot of losses the first couple years of business.
For sure.
So I always tell people to have like a 1 year plan to transition from working for somebody to full-time entrepreneurship. That doesn't mean you have to wait till you quit a job to start a business.
Oh, for sure.
So you can always start a business while you are working for somebody, and what you do is call that company you're working for your investor. When you're working for a company that pays you well, you satisfy your needs, like your home needs and your bills and stuff, and then that extra you invest into your business.
Gotcha.
So you aren't really you're not really struggling in the business because you are taking that extra income and going ahead and getting the business license and the LLC and the business cards and the logo. Get that stuff while you got a job.
Oh, for sure.
And then when you start grinding, actually operating in your services or selling your products, you then have means to generate some profit from what you have going on. So I always say take a year to plan your transition. But me, unfortunately, I'm not gonna say unfortunately. Let's take that back. But me, mine was different. It was a setback that kind of pushed me forward. Gotcha. And so July 2011, July 1st, 2011 is when I started my full-time entrepreneurship journey. And from there, I actually started a record label before I started TJ's Elements. That was in 2009.
Right.
No, 2008. I'm sorry. 2008. So I started TJ's Elements the following February in 2009. But in 2008, I started a record label with my best friend and my sister. We were called Real Records and Entertainment.
Real Records and
Entertainment. Wow. It had a jingle and everything. We were doing a lot of big things. We had TV shows on the CW locally. And we started with just music because we had a gospel group. But then we expanded to managing actors and doing the sitcoms and parody shows and stuff like that. So we were doing a lot of things, and then it was just a transition of where everybody's passion isn't equal. So
you have that
once everybody's life started happening. That's the best way I can explain.
That's crazy.
Once everybody's
My
life
last
started
episode was about when life. That's the name of it. When life happens.
Yeah. So when everybody was going in different directions, and it's going to happen like that because we all grew up together. And this is regarding into our group. We all grew up together, but like we're entering adulthood now. So things. We're not always going to be on the same exact path anymore. So when that just kind of started to occur, I still wanted to do music. And to be honest,
music career.
Right. So that kind of led me to start doing solo stuff. So 2012 was when I did my first Tiffany J solo song called Flying Solo. It had nothing to do, it just worked marketing wise. But the song didn't talk about flying solo from the group or from this and this and that. It was basically a person in a situation where they were always kind of the follower, but now they are stepping out to be the leader of their life and not necessarily doing what their peers say to do. So that's what the song is talking about. It just kind of worked because of my situation. Right. So 2012, I started the independent music thing, but I was struggling with identifying who I was as an artist. So I came from the church. I'm still in the church. To keep that out there, but I came from the church and singing with a gospel group. I was writing music. It still had strong faith background, strong sense of God, but it was more life music. Not necessarily scripture based. And I try to tell people all the time, the stuff that we hear on the gospel station ain't even always gospel. It's inspirational. You know what I mean? So to me, gospel is stuff that is based strictly on scripture, which my music was necessarily not. It was just life situations or how I was writing, because I've been a songwriter since I was 14. Wow. So I was struggling. So I really didn't find Tiffany J as the artist I am now or starting to evolve into until like 2014 when I released my EP. It's called Bird's Eye View. I did a music movies project. And what I mean by that was shortly after Beyonce released that self-titled album with the music video for every song. So I was like, I think I could do that. I think I could do it.
So how did you go from the idea, the spark, to actually doing it? Because I think a lot of people get hang up in that part.
I think the biggest thing for me is when I say that I'm going to do something, I make sure I do it. Regardless of what it takes. I think a lot of people, especially business owners or people that's trying to get into stuff, they sometimes seem to depend on other people for funding and sources like that. I will sacrifice everything I have to make sure I make my dreams come true. So I had to sit down and say, this is going to cost this. Because the Music Movies project cost a pretty penny.
Oh, I get it.
A music video for every song on the EP.
You talking about like the music side in general, just to have a
just
product.
The music side. Period. Before music videos,
the videos, right? For sure. Yeah, that's gonna.
It
like
was production.
Movie. Right, a movie for every song. A short film.
Right. That's why I call it a music movies project versus music videos. I just wanted to, do a little twist on it. So, of course, as an artist, you got the studio time, the production, the mixing and mastering. Then you get to the photography and all the branding and stuff that goes along with the actual product. Then the video production side, videos aren't just shooting a video with a camera. You got to get storyboards done. You got to cast. You got to get makeup artists. You got to schedule and rent facilities and venues, locations, all that kind of stuff. All that went along with every single music video on the project. So it took a lot of work. I think I put Flying Solo on my EP, but the whole EP, not including like the Flying Solo time, because it took me a couple years before I kind of really was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Gotcha.
I think it took me about a year to get that project done, maybe a little less. But like I had an actual video release party, like because even that's costing. Oh, for sure. A venue for that, making sure people come, having guests, the host, all that kind of stuff. So I've invested a lot into my career, money wise, time wise. So
it's an emotional pull too.
Well, I think when you're passionate about something, you'll do everything it takes to really get it done. And I try to tell people all the time, they say they want to do stuff, but if they don't do it, I don't really think you for real about it. You know what I mean? So fast forward, Tiffany J has been doing her thing. I released my first album in 2016. Currently, I am working on my second album, which is going to be called Epiphany 325. So just look out for that. But outside of Tiffany J, well, not outside of Tiffany J began to evolve past music.
So let's talk about those ventures of everything that's included with Tiffany J, because as you talk about your process and how everything evolved, it's like it started from even back when you were 14 or when you're 18 in college. Everything just started from some type of experience and spiraled out.
Exactly. Experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Experience. So what I've learned, and this is just a tidbit for people that are trying to do multiple things. I've learned, I call my businesses and projects babies. Or children, rather. So TJ's Elements is really my first business baby. It's like teenager status right now. I don't have to promote TJ's Elements every day. I don't have to, check on to see if it ate breakfast. TJ's Elements can sustain at home alone without me checking every single moment. When I start something new, that's my infant. So I have to put more time and attention into what's new, because what I've already birthed has been able to brew on its own a little bit. So I don't ever start a whole bunch of things at one time, because I want to focus on that infant at the moment. I let things grow to a point where I can add on something else. Gotcha. So that's just kind of how I work my businesses. A lot of people's like, you do a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't throw all the stuff at one time. Like I've developed something and I'll keep doing it and I'll add on something else.
That's cool.
So
that's good advice for those of you that have too much iron in the fire, as they say.
and don't let people say you're doing too much too. If you can handle it, you know what you can handle.
For sure.
But as far as Tiffany J, outside of music, I have this summer camp called the Beauty You Are Boot Camp, which is a organization basically to boost self-esteem and confidence in girls ages 6 through 17. And I started at around the same time I started as Tiffany J, the musical artist. And from that became more speaking opportunities and me using my life story of depression and low self-esteem and suicide contemplation, and sharing that and being more open and transparent. And that has grown me as a person. Like, it's allowed me to evolve by being able to share my pain in order for somebody else to gain. So from those speaking opportunities and the camp developing, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I've done a TV show and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. But it kind of brewed, my new baby, Super Beauty. And Super Beauty, the name came from a nickname I was given by one of my mentees. She called me Super Beauty on a school project she did. And she said that I had the superpower to make people feel good about themselves. So that kind of stuck with me over the years. And when I wrote my first book, this book right here I think this book is a very good book. It's a year old now. It's called It All Starts With Me, an interactive guide to discovering self and loving it.
Still focusing on you. Let's focus on the book.
Forward is written by my mentor Angie Stone. Oh, nice. And it's not an autobiography. I try to tell people it's not my life story, but I use my life's experiences to prove or to help my points in the book. So it's 10 chapters, and it's basically leading someone to self-discovery and then learning how to love that. Because a lot of times we try to, we force on people, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But sometimes people don't know who they are.
You talked about that earlier. Right?
Yeah, it's hard to love something if you don't know what it is. Like, what are you loving?
That's true.
You know what I mean? So the book, it takes you step by step, teaching you how to love yourself. It even goes as far as teaching you how to write your own personal mission statement. Because I think we all need mission statements, just like businesses, organizations have missions. We need a mission for our life so that anything we embark upon does not go against what we have set out to do.
Well, let me ask you something. You talk about the importance of knowing yourself, discovering yourself, and having basically a vision and a mission for your life. Right. How important is that substantiality of self pours out into entrepreneurship? Like, do you feel like your business will run more smoothly, or it have a sense of stability because you know yourself? Do you feel like it has some kind of correlation, or does it work that way for you?
Well, I guess with me being an entrepreneur, my self-discovery came in the midst of me being an entrepreneur. I think you will be more successful and will find yourself avoiding a lot of roadblocks if you know yourself.
That's a good point.
Yeah, if you don't know who you are, you'll fall for anything. Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of things you can avoid if you know yourself. A lot of clients you'll avoid. A lot, it's a lot of things you won't take for the sake of making $1. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, yeah.
So I think knowing yourself will definitely help you with entrepreneurship, because you know this is for you or this is not for you. And when you know those things, you don't have to use that time, because time is something we can't get back. You don't have to waste the time on things that aren't important or don't really matter or won't, benefit us in the long run.
Oh, for sure. So let's finish off by talking about your latest
Super Beauty.
Your latest baby, Super Beauty, and the purpose of it, and what does it bring to the community as a whole?
Okay, Super Beauty is a character I created, 10-year-old girl who is a superhero. She has the superpower to diminish the influence of bullies and boost self-esteem and confidence in her peers. So when I wrote my first book, it would surpass the reading level of a lot of my mentees from my camp. So I was like, I need to do something for them. And it started with just the idea of a book series based on the character Super Beauty. But I knew with the book, I wanted to have a traveling mascot. That's just something that I wanted. Like, I was like, when the book have book signing here, I need my mascot there. I had to have that. But when I started shopping for a mascot, one of the companies emailed back and was like, turn your character into a plush doll. And I was like, You know, that had me thinking like the doll wasn't like something that's been brewing in my head for a while. The mascot was, and my search for a mascot led me to the creation of the doll. So Super Beauty, the brand, extends from the book, which will be a book series. We got a cosmetic line that I call Lip and Nail Shine. We have sneakers, we have apparel, but we have this doll coming out in September, and she's a talking doll, and she says over 20 motivational phrases that boost self-esteem.
Wow!
So when you squeeze her, what we say as Super Beauty has come today with motivation just squeeze away, because when you squeeze it, she says something, and it's a random phrase. It's, I scripted it, but we never know what she's about to say because the phrases are rotated randomly.
Good. Yeah, that's good. And I noticed we did the mixtape podcast last week, and you was talking about this idea came from it's going to help especially young girls with like the self-esteem.
With self-esteem, and just to shortly talk about my experience, I contemplated suicide multiple different times, attempting at 12 years old.
Wow.
And one of the things, I didn't have a free outlet to express myself. I didn't know how to. I didn't love myself for one, but I didn't have this.
Gotcha.
I didn't have this.
Gotcha.
And a lot of times with the girl and female empowerment organizations and stuff, now we drill into affirmations, which is wonderful. Teaching people what affirmations are and things like that. But Super Beauty is telling them from her point of view, because a lot of times it sometimes takes somebody else to say, you're beautiful, you're smart, before we really,
right.
Like, maybe I am. Sometimes we need that confirmation. So everything is coming from her point of view versus say you're beautiful or say I am. You know what I mean? So I think Super Beauty is going to save some lives.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, that's all we got for you today on the pink couch, the black couch, pink couch. Anyway, but yeah, Tiffany J has an amazing story. She have a lot going on, but is not just for herself, which you said on the other
right. My life ain't for me.
And I believe that when you realize that, more things will flourish out of it.
Oh, definitely. I'm a living witness. Like, I'm not even, making a ton of money, but I can see through faith and like my belief in like what I'm capable of, and me just knowing what my purpose is. Right. I see me going a lot further than I would have thought, a lot sooner.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Wow. So,
ladies and gentlemen, like this video, share this video. If you haven't been here before and you would like to see more videos like this one, definitely hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching The Black Couch today with Tiffany J, and we will see you on the next video.